Guys, welcome to Carl's Vaping Reviews. Review time again for you, and this time I've got a mechanical device. It was given to me courtesy of elegantvapor.co.uk. When I was last up there a few days ago, they asked me to have a play around with it, test it out, and do a review on it. It's not currently up on their website, but if you speak to them via the online chat, they do have them in stock in the store. And they're going to be priced at $34.99, and I'm talking about the copper 49 clone. I think they are going to have other finishes in there, but they've only got the copper one so far. Slide open box. This one's by Ivogo, the manufacturer, and they've just done the I've just done a review from Ivogo on the Mini 2.1K fun. So yeah, they got some nice products coming out. So the 49 is obviously famous for its size and how small it is in every mode: 18650, 18500 and 18350. And it also has a direct contact to the battery with a hybrid type top cap. That your atomizer just screw in there and sit onto the battery with. I'll show you that again in a minute. I have got a battery in here, and then the engraving on the bottom button and the serial number is very nice, very deep. I'll take it section by section to show you first. I'll show you the top cap. Pretty simple, really. The two holes in the top cap either side, there and there, are if the top cap gets stuck at any point, but it could be for battery venting as well, but it is for when if the top cap ever gets stuck onto the mod or onto your atomizer. On the bottom it does have a Delrin insulator on. Some people have been asking about it on the forum. I've noticed since some other vendors had them in. But yeah, it does have the Delrin in there. So that's the top cap, pretty self-explanatory really. I'll just take the battery off. And we'll strip. The tube comes in 3 sections. And then obviously a button. Put them down there. So what we've got here is the 18350 tube. It's very nicely finished, quite thick tube, really nice, really nice. The threads are lovely on it as well, very good, the threads are. So that's the tube. What I've done is I've polished inside here as well to make it nice and smooth in there. I'll tell you why in a minute. Then you've got 2 extensions. There's a smaller one and a slightly larger one. The smaller one is used for 18500 and the larger one is 18650. So screw the smaller one onto the tube. That's 18500, and then when we screw the larger one on as well, that's 18650, and it really screws up very nice. There's hardly any seams there at all, and it's really nice. The threads are very good, as I said before. Right, let's stick that tube to one side. I'll give you the measurements in a minute. We already know what the measurements are because it's in the title of the mod for the 18350 size. So what you get when it comes is the switch, and you also get, there's a magnet in the switch and there's another magnet for spare, and that's already in the tube when you get it. And then you also get a battery spacer. So what you do is you attach that to the bottom of the desired battery of your choice. I'll go on to batteries again in a sec. What I've been doing to insert the switch is I take the two tubes off, no matter what I'm doing, whichever battery I'm using, and I just put my little pinky up the tube and just drop it in, and then I just work it down. It does get stuck from time to time when you're trying to get it down. That's how I do it, and then it's there. Screw your other two tubes on. These will screw on to this tube. These will screw on. I just put the 18500 one on first, and then the 18650 second, in case I want to drop down from 18650 to 18500 mode. Saves taking a whole lot off, but that's just me preference, that is. So we'll screw that on. And what you've got, this is an AWIMR nipple top, is you've got to make sure that both opposing magnets oppose each other before you attach it to your battery. So we just take the switch back out again. So they are opposing each other now. If that was on the other way round, they wouldn't oppose each other. It's a button would stick. That's what you don't want. So quite strong, these magnets. So that's on like that, and that's on like that. So stick my pinky up again, put the button in. I haven't had any real problem getting the button in, to be honest, at all. But I've polished it out inside, so it's a little bit smoother in there. So you can put your battery in now before you put your tubes on if you want. What you get is that bouncing. So effectively you've got what I call a floating switch here, and when everything's screwed up and you've got your atomizer on, that touches the bottom of the contact on the battery and makes the connection to your atomizer. So we'll screw the tubes on as well. Now it's preference whether you screw this on first or put it onto your atomizer. I would try and put it onto your desired. I've got a TOBH, a Tobe, and then I screw it on, and then I know I've got something sticking out of there, because there is some shorter connections that haven't been, I haven't got any atomizers personally. Every atomizer I've tried works. Some of them are quite short and they don't protrude past that Dowling insulator, so they are being they get hard to fire, or not fire at all sometimes. We screw it on like so. The aim of this mod is to get a shorter throw as possible with this button, and that's determined by the length of your 510 and the length of battery you have in here. But if the battery length's too long in here, and when you screw your atomizer on, when it screws down and it's all flush up, it'll start auto firing because the two contacts are touching. So it's a mod that you've got to be prepared to have a fiddle about with. You don't really want to buy this if you're not prepared to have a fiddle about with the switch and battery lengths and certain things like that. You can buy other magnet spacers if needed. If you've got something, I think you can get them on eBay and stuff if you need any more. I personally haven't needed any with what I've got, what I've had attached to this. And this is an 18650 mode, and that's how short my, before it fires, it's very short. That's with an AWIMR nipple top in. As you can see, hits like a train. It is. I've checked it out and it's a 0.1 voltage drop, and that's running mainly coils at around 1 ohm, 0.8 to 1 ohm. This is 0.8 coil in this, and it hits very, very well. So we'll take that off and I'll show you in another mode. So when you take it off, the top cap does tend to stay with the atomizer. So what you do, we take the battery out, we take the spacer off the battery, and then we'll go for, this is a flat top now, E-Fest 18500. The way I determine which is right and wrong on this button, for me, it might be different on another one of these clones that you get, but there's a little recess of the magnet on one side and it's a bit more flush on the other. The recess part goes onto the bottom of the battery. That's how I know it's the right one. So we'll take the 18650 tube off and we'll plop the 18500 in. Got that spring in this again. And then we'll screw the top cap on with the atomizer, and then that's how much throw I've got on the switch with an 18500 purple E-Fest, using both the magnets. So that's not a problem. Now, if we're going to try, what I'm going to show you is, I've got a still air clone here. I'm going to put the still air clone on for you, because the still air clone has 6.5 mil 510 connection. It is quite long. And that's got very little play in it. And that's with a flat top. So if you wanted to have a bit more play in that, you would take the magnet off the bottom switch. Now I've also got, I just wanted to show you different atomizers, really, just before you go out and purchase it. Different, I mean, these are all drippers, because the drippers tend to have quite large. This one's got a 7 mil. This is the Magma, a 7 mil 510 connection. I'm going to screw this on. That's got very little. See that? Now, I wouldn't be happy with that, really, like that, because it's too short. It's too short, and it could auto fire on you. I mean, that little bit of at the bottom, when I put it down and just press it a little bit, it does fire. So I would take one of the magnets off the bottom there to use that. So yeah, it's not a mod that you can buy and then just, you've got to be prepared to play around with batteries, and obviously the 510 lengths, especially on the drippers, they can't be altered on a lot of them. So let me just go, and this is an AWIMR 18490. We'll stick that in as well, and it should have a little bit more play in there because that's slightly shorter, the AWIMR is. So yeah, that's it. It's a little bit shorter, but with the Magma, it's got such a long 510 that I still wouldn't be happy with that being that short. I'd have to take the magnet off the bottom. But what you don't want is the throw of this switch being too long that it sticks up like that. That it starts sticking in there, which it does from time to time. So, you know, it's just, I think Todd did the review on the original and he said, you know, it's a mod that you need to sort of play around with. We'll take the 18500 tube off and put, this is a purple E-Fest again, 18350. This is a nipple top. Got the springiness there again. I'll stick the Magma on. Very little play. You know, hardly anything really. You'd be wanting 18350 flat tops really, in this would work better. I would have to take the magnet off that because there's very little play. If I put the take that off, and if I put the tobe on, it'd be a little bit better because the tobers, the TOBH, or the tobe as people call it, hasn't got, it's got a long 510, but it's not as long as the Still Air or the Magma, because I believe people who buy these are going to use them with the probably a K-Fun or a dripper really, in my opinion. May not. See, that's got a better throw. That's got a nice throw on there, and it's tiny. That's an 18650 battery. It's ridiculously tiny. It hits. Really, but I love the mod. I love it. It's really good. It's so small, and 18. You could use 18650 in this. It's so small. I'll give you the dimensions now. That's obviously 49mm because it's the 49 mod. That's what it gets its name from. But I'll give it a measure anyway because I think I've measured it with the top cap. The clone I've got here is 51mm from top to bottom. That's just using this ruler. I mean, if I use a set of calipers, it'll probably come out, but it is over 50mm. With the an 18500 mode, that's the one, yeah, the smaller. The 18500 one, as I've said, is the smaller extension. Take the battery out, put the top cap on. I'll give you the dimensions with the top cap. With my SpongeBob ruler again, 65mm, and that's again, I put that up against an 18650 battery again. Same size as, virtually same size as an 18650 battery. Thereabouts, yeah. And then in 18650 mode, screw that on. Threads are lovely on it. Beautiful the threads are, even for the copper mod. You have to be careful you don't cross thread it. It's dead easy to cross thread the copper mods, softer metal. And in 18650 mode, I get it on my ruler, it's 81, so you know, anywhere between 80 and 81mm. So yeah, 81mm and 18650. it's ridiculous. It's ridiculously small, and it's a great device. I love it. Button stuck up there again because there's no way. That's it. So I'll put it back in 18650. I have got two on the charger at the moment, two VCT5s, Sony ones, and they're flat tops, and they work very well in this, very well. When you, because it's a floater, the battery floats around inside with. I'll put my tobe on again. There's a little bit of rattle from some batteries, but that's just side to side rattle, really. It's nothing that you can hear when you're just picking it up normal. It's just when you really shake it, you can hear the battery inside the tube slightly. Well, it is machined very well inside. 18650 that is. It's so small. I mean, I've been using it, the button like that, sort of resty in 18650 mode. And it works very good. I've had no problems, but what I've done is I've sort of like brassoed it down inside, make it nice and smooth in there. When I first got it, when I first had it, it was sticking quite a lot, but since I've been brassoing it down inside and brassoing the button around the side of the button, it's made it nice and smooth. And that's it, guys. There's nothing else to really tell you about, really. It's a simple mod, a great switch on it, how it works. You're either going to like the switch or you're not. It's not for everyone, but I love it personally. I like it, and it's a really good mod, and they've cloned it really well with the Dowling and the Dowling insulator and the top cap, the extra magnet in the bottom, which you can use. I've been using the extra magnet on the bottom of the switch, on the fire switch itself. Some people put it onto the battery. I've been using it, putting it onto the switch at the bottom, and you can take that off, so it does come with that spare magnet, which is nice, and it's great. We'll take one last toke and then we'll wrap it up. So you can use it like that, but when I'm out and about, I just use it like that, because it's a mechanical device. You can use an 18650 a lot because of the size of it. It's really small. So thanks for watching, guys. Any comments on the 4.9 clone? If anything you think I've missed out or whatever, you can contact me via the AAEC forum. Richo71 is the avatar, or I've got the links on my channel for Facebook and Twitter, so you can contact me on there also, and my email is visible on there on the YouTube channel as well. So thanks again to elegantvapour.co.uk. The link where you'll be able to buy that and contact them is in the description underneath. Use the online chat bit on their site, and speak to Phil. Normally answers, or it's Mazen. But thank you very much for watching, and see you in my next review. Thanks, guys.